Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel where we deal in reality, not rumors, and where we look at the facts on the ground regarding the Iraqi dinar. Today, I want to have a very serious heart-to-heart conversation with you about where we are heading as we look toward the end of 2026. I know many of you watching this have been holding on to your dinar for 5, 10, or maybe even 15 years. And every single morning you wake up hoping to see that life-changing news. And every single night you go to bed wondering if this investment is ever going to pay off. I understand that frustration because I see it in the comments. I hear it in your questions. And I feel it myself because we all want to see the Iraqi people prosper and in turn see our patience rewarded. So in this video, we are going to strip away the hype. We are going to ignore the people who have been promising you a global currency reset every Tuesday for the last decade. And we are going to look at the cold, hard economic data to forecast what 1,000, 100,000, or even 1 million Iraqi dinar could realistically be worth by the end of 2026, based on the current trajectory of the Central Bank of Iraq and the Prime Minister's economic reforms. Right now, as we speak here in early 2026, we are seeing a very specific dynamic in the market where the street rate, the price you pay in the bazaars of Baghdad or Herbal, is hovering around that 1,500 dinar to the dollar mark, sometimes dipping, sometimes rising, while the official rate remains anchored at 1320. Now, the big question on everyone's mind is, why hasn't this gap closed yet? We were told that the electronic platforms would fix this. We were told that banning the use of the dollar for internal trade would fix this. But the reality is that changing a cash-based economy, which Iraq has been for decades, into a digital banking-based economy is like trying to turn a massive oil tanker in the middle of the ocean. It does not happen instantly, but once it turns, the momentum is unstoppable. The focus for the rest of this year and leading into the end of 2026 is entirely on what we call sovereignty over the currency. This means the Central Bank of Iraq wants the Iraqi dinar to be the only currency that matters inside Iraq. Let's play out a very realistic scenario for the end of 2026. If the current banking reforms continue at this pace, and if the United States Treasury continues to support Iraq's integration into the global financial system, we are not looking at a magical switch flip where the dinar goes to $3 overnight. I know that hurts to hear for some of you who follow the gurus, but please stick with me because the reality is actually quite positive, just in a different way. The realistic goal for the central bank by the end of 2026 is to eliminate the parallel market completely. They want that street rate of 1,500 to come down and match the official 1320 rate. If they achieve that, it means stability. It means that international corporations like Total Energies, Siemens, and General Electric, who are signing massive contracts in Iraq right now, can do business without worrying about currency fluctuation. When that happens, the demand for the dinar becomes organic and real, not speculative. Now let's talk about the purchasing power, because this is where the real value lies for the Iraqi citizens and for us as observers. The value of a currency isn't just a number on a screen, it's about what that money can buy. Throughout 2025 and now into 2026, we have seen a massive push for the project to delete the zeros. I need to clarify this because so much misinformation spreads about this topic. If Iraq decides to redenominate by the end of 2026, which is a very real possibility given the stability they are chasing, they would drop the 3 zeros from the nominal value. This means your 25,000 dinar note becomes a 25 dinar note. Now, before you panic or get excited, understand that in a neutral economic event, the value stays the same initially. A soda that cost 1,000 dinars would cost 1 dinar. The purchasing power remains. However, the psychological impact of this on the global stage is massive. It signals to the World Trade Organization, to the IMF, and to foreign investors that Iraq is back to normal. It sheds the skin of the war-torn era and enters a modern era. If they pull this off in late 2026, we could see a gradual float-based increase in value over the following years, similar to how the Kuwaiti dinar didn't just appear at its high rate magically, but was sustained by a powerful economy. I want to pause here and ask you a question because I really value your insight as investors who have been watching this closely. Do you think the current Prime Minister Al-Sudani has the political strength to finally stop the dollar smuggling? We know that the smuggling of dollars to neighboring countries is the main reason the dinar stays weak. Do you feel he is actually cracking down on it, or is it just more words? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because your perspective helps us all understand the sentiment of this community. Continuing on, let's look at the oil markets, because we cannot talk about the dinar without talking about oil. Iraq is still dependent on oil for more than 90% of its revenue. By the end of 2026, if oil prices remain stable between $70 and $80 a barrel, Iraq's foreign currency reserves, which are already at historic highs, will continue to grow. This is the insurance policy for the dinar. The more reserves they have, the more they can defend the currency. However, the exciting part for 2026 isn't oil. It is natural gas and gold. Iraq has started to tap into its gas reserves to stop importing gas from neighbors and start becoming energy independent. This saves billions of dollars annually. When a country stops bleeding money out of its borders to pay for energy, its own currency strengthens naturally. This is basic economics. If they stop burning off the gas and start using it for electricity by the end of 2026, the pressure on the dinar budget is relieved, allowing for a potential appreciation in the official rate. Now, I have to address the elephant in the room, the rumors. There are people out there telling you that by next week or by next month, the banks are going to shut down and reopen with a $3, $50 rate. Friends, please, I beg you to be careful. These rumors are designed to get clicks, but they hurt real people. If you make financial decisions based on the idea that you will be a millionaire next Tuesday, you might stop working, you might take on debt, or you might make bad choices for your family. The reality of 2026 is that Iraq is building a real economy. Real economies grow incrementally. Think about the Vietnam Dong or the rise of the Chinese yuan over decades. It is a slow, steady climb. The revaluation, or RV, that everyone talks about is likely going to be a gradual appreciation, a managed float where the dinar gets stronger by a few percentage points every quarter as the non-oil revenue grows. If you are holding dinar, you are holding a share in the future success of the Iraqi economy. If the economy succeeds, the currency succeeds. It is that simple. Speaking of protecting yourself and being smart with your assets, we live in a digital age where information is everything. As investors, you are constantly online checking exchange rates, reading news on forums, banking on your phone, and perhaps even trading crypto alongside your currency holdings. I cannot stress enough how important it is to secure your digital footprint. When you are visiting foreign news sites or checking dinar forums, you are exposing your IP address to potential bad actors who target financial communities. It is crucial to use tools that anonymize your presence. I personally always use a VPN when I am doing my financial research to ensure that my location and my data are encrypted. It's just like having a safe for your physical cash. You need a digital safe for your online activity. Don't let your guard down just because you're focused on the charts. Stay safe, keep your passwords complex, and never share your personal financial details in public forums. Getting back to the forecast, let's look at the banking sector specifically for 2026. This is actually the most bullish indicator we have. The central bank has forced all merchants to use point-of-sale POS machines. By the end of 2026, the goal is to have cash usage drop significantly. Why does this matter to you as an investor? Because when money is digital, it stays in the banking system. It can be taxed, it can be tracked, and it can be used to lend money to businesses. This creates velocity of money. A dinar that sits under a mattress does nothing for the value. A dinar that moves electronically through a bank to a merchant to a supplier and back to a bank creates value. The more successful this digital transformation is by 2026, the more likely we are to see the spread between the official rate and the market rate disappear. Once that spread is gone, the central bank has the freedom to adjust the rate. They cannot adjust the rate upward significantly while a black market exists because it would just create more chaos. So step one is killing the black market. Step two is increasing the value. We are currently in step one, and 2026 is the year we hopefully transition to step two. Another factor we must consider is the geopolitical stability of the region. Iraq has positioned itself as a mediator in the Middle East, trying to stay friends with everyone and enemies with no one. This is a brilliant strategy by Al-Sudani. If they can maintain this neutrality through 2026, avoiding getting dragged into regional conflicts, foreign investment will pour in. We are already seeing interest from Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and even European nations wanting to build the development road. This road project is huge. It connects the Grand Fa port in the south to Turkey in the north. It essentially turns Iraq into the Suez Canal of land transport. If construction hits its milestones in 2026, the demand for the Iraqi dinar to pay for local labor, materials, and logistics will skyrocket. This is real demand. This isn't speculators buying dinar. This is major companies needing dinar to build bridges and roads. That is what drives a currency value up sustainably. So where does that leave us with the numbers? If I were to give you a conservative fact-based prediction for the end of 2026, I would say we are looking at a unified exchange rate. The black market will likely be suffocated down to a negligible difference. The official rate might be adjusted to be slightly stronger, perhaps around 300 or 1250 as a sign of strength, but the purchasing power inside the country will be much better. If the project to delete zeros happens, we will see a new currency structure, but the value will be comparable initially with room to grow. I know this isn't the get-rich-quick scheme that some other channels sell you, but I believe you are here because you respect the truth. You are smart investors. You know that wealth is built on reality, not fantasy. The upside is that if you are holding dinar, you are holding a sovereign currency of a nation that is arguably the richest piece of real estate on the planet. In terms of natural resources, they have water, they have agriculture, they have oil, they have gas, and they have gold. The only thing they have lacked is management. Now, it seems they are finally getting the management right. I want to take a moment to ask you another question regarding your strategy. Are you planning to hold your dinar until a specific rate is hit, or are you planning to hold it until the deletion of zeros happens? Everyone has a different exit strategy. Some people say, I'm out at $1, while others say, I'm holding for the long haul to pass down to my children. Let me know in the comments what your personal goal is. It is always fascinating to see the different approaches within our community. And please, while you are in the comments, support each other. We are all in the same boat, waiting for the same tide to rise. There is no need for negativity or fighting. We are all hoping for the best for Iraq and for our portfolios. To wrap this up, the outlook for 2026 is cautiously optimistic. It is a year of infrastructure, a year of banking enforcement, and a year of international integration. We are seeing the end of the strict Federal Reserve sanctions slowly being eased as Iraq complies with anti-money laundering standards. The more Iraq complies, the more freedom they get. The more freedom they get, the more valuable their currency becomes. It is a chain reaction. We are watching the chain reaction happen in slow motion, which makes it painful day to day. But if you zoom out and look at where we were in 2020 versus where we are in 2026, the progress is undeniable. The reserves are up, the gold is up, the banking sector is growing, and the international contracts are signed. The foundation is poured. Now they are building the house. I promise you that I will keep monitoring this situation daily. I read the translated documents from the Iraqi parliament. I follow the CBI press releases, and I track the market movements so that you don't have to spend hours doing it yourself. My goal is to be your filter, to separate the noise from the news, and to protect you from getting your hopes up over false information while keeping you excited about the real progress being made. This is a partnership between me and you, the viewer. I provide the facts and you provide the support. If you found this analysis helpful, if you appreciate an honest, non-nonsense look at your investment that treats you like an adult and not like a child believing in fairy tales, then please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. It really helps the video reach more investors who need to hear the truth. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. I have some deep dives coming up soon regarding the new budget numbers and what the IMF specifically said about Iraq's non-oil revenue targets for late 2026. And you do not want to miss that update. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. I know time is the most valuable asset we have, even more than dinar or dollars. I appreciate you spending it here with me. Stay patient, stay informed, and most importantly, stay grounded in facts. The journey is long, but the destination looks brighter than it has in decades. Until next time, take care of yourselves and your families. Let's keep watching, let's keep learning, and let's hope that 2026 is the year the world finally sees the true potential of Iraq. Goodbye for now.